Hello again, my name is Marina and I welcome you to another edition of Knights Templar International News. The word hero is used about all sorts of people these days, including many who do not really deserve the title. So today I want to tell you about one man who really does deserve to be called a hero, Major Roman Filipov. When the 33-year-old fighter pilot was ordered to join the Russian force fighting Islamist rebels in Syria, he said goodbye to his family and set off to do his duty. He was willing to risk his life to help to defend the secular, tolerant government of Syria and to protect the principles of national sovereignty. He knew the risks. That's why he carried in his flying jacket pockets a loaded pistol and 2 hand grenades. Major Filippo flew sortie after sortie, hitting rebels in the last major pocket of largely foreign fighters who invaded Syria at the start of its civil war. Islamist headquarters backed not just by Saudi Arabia and Qatar, but also by the Obama regime and by the British and the Israeli governments. Until this week, his Sukhoi 25 SM was hit by a ground-to-air missile. The missile was almost certainly among the billions of dollars worth weapons shipped to the Islamist rebels by the CIA in Operation Timber Sycamore. This was launched under the Obama regime and was only recently halted by Donald Trump. It was the biggest gun-running operation in world history and cost the American taxpayer over $5 billion a year. This wicked policy cost the lives of untold thousands of innocent people and, as we learned for sure this week, handed to the perpetrators of 9/11 the weapons they need to shoot down not just Russian fighters today, but also civilian airliners tomorrow. Roman Filipov managed to bail out of his burning plane just before it crashed. As he parachuted to earth in Idlib province, a mob of the rebels, who the mainstream media keep telling us are moderates, ran towards him. They blazed away with assault rifles, screaming Allah Akbar, as moderate rebels always do. Whether the major was hit in the air, we do not know, but he was still alive when he hit the ground. As the screaming Islamist mob closed in, he shot 2 of them dead with his pistol, surrounded. Out of ammunition and about to be captured, he calmly pulled the pin from his grenade. Video footage filmed by the rebels themselves shows the airmen shouting, "This is for our guys," before detonating the grenade as the terrorists surround him. Roman was killed instantly. It is not known how many of the al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda headquarters the blast took with him. Filippo from Vladivostok has been posthumously nominated for the Kremlin's highest honor, the Hero of Russia. Vladimir Putin is expected to grant the award to his grieving family. The incident reminds us of what true heroism really is. At the same time, the gloating reports in the Western mainstream media about the shooting down of the Russian fighter remind us of the wickedness of the liberal media and political elites. From the beginning of the Syrian civil war, they have backed people they know full well to be bloody-thirsty Muslim extremists. Just as they did when NATO bombed Libya and invaded Iraq, and just as they did when the war criminals Bill Clinton and Tony Blair terror-bombed Serbia for 3 whole months in order to force our government to hand over Kosovo to Albanian Muslim terrorists. The liberalism that supports cutthroat Muslims against Arab nationalists and Christian Europeans is a truly wicked thing. Unfortunately, it is also a very powerful thing. It is so powerful that the West will not be saved from the clutches of liberalism without sacrifice, tears and blood. Europe will not be saved through elections and painless change. The liberals will never let go of power. It will have to be torn from their greedy grasp. Which is why the heroic example of Roman Filipov contains a vital lesson not just for young men and women in Russia, but also for everyone in the West who understands that liberalism is a disease that has to be fought and wiped out, whatever the personal cost. Of course, every nation in Europe already has its own homegrown versions of Filipov and his sacrifice. Here in the East, we have the memory of heroes of past generations who laid down their lives in the struggle to resist and overthrow the Ottoman invasions. In the West, of course, you have countless examples of the epic bravery of your fighting men, both from the days of empire and from further back in history. Together, our peoples have always produced heroes, and always will. But in our times, Roman Filipov stands out as a truly special example of heroism. And he is not alone. We also remember 25-year-old Alexander Prokorenko in March 2016. Trapped behind enemy lines while on a secret mission at the ancient Syrian city of Palmyra, Alexander was surrounded by jihadists. With no possible means of escape, the young father took the decision to end his own life by calling in Russian warplanes to obliterate his location and wipe out the jihadi mob which was closing in. Over his radio, he asked his commanding officer to tell his family that he loved them and to bomb his exact position. So instead of executing him, dozens of his enemies were sent straight to hell at the same moment that he gained his martyr's crown. The story of a third young Russian soldier is even more remarkable. Evgeny Rodiano was just 19 when he was captured by Muslim Chechen rebels in 1996. Angered by his refusal to take off his cross, the Islamists threatened and tortured Evgeny every day for more than 3 months. Heroically, he refused to abandon his Christian faith for Islam. His savage captors finally gave up trying and executed him as he prayed to our Lord. Evgeny Rodiano, like Alexander Prokorenko and Roman Filipov, is now an inspiration and a role model for literally millions of young Russians. Once the Islamist war on conquest explodes upon the West, there is no doubt that Britain, France, Sweden, Germany and all the rest will produce Christian martyrs and fighting heroes of their own once again. But until they do, cherish the memories of these 3 young Russian heroes, men who remind us that death is only a little thing and that Christian faith conquers all. Deus vult.